Hello YouTube! Got a box here you guys can check out from the Amazon. Now, it took me 2 attempts to get this box. The first box was shipped USPS. Never arrived as of yet. Today it's 1 day late right now. So this is, I called Amazon up and I complained that I hadn't got the box. So they, after a little bit of persuasion, sent me another box overnight for free. So, with shipping arrangements for the box to come back. First of all, in this box, you'll see here is the SoundQuest 1000 watt amplifier wiring kit on Amazon. This kit runs around 20 bucks. And I'm going to be getting into this and seeing what all is actually in here and what kind of quality it is. You guys have probably seen it if you're shopping on Amazon. You've seen this kit. Well, I'm going to tell you the ins and outs of it and what I think about it and how it rates on the Gamer 1 scale. The second thing I got was this box. This is the Boss 1000 watt monoblock Class AB amplifier. I'm going to be showing you this thing in detail too. I already had it out of the box once, and this is the book that came in it. I didn't put it back in, so we'll cover all the things that are in this box and what I think about this, my first impressions. Okay, so first of all, we have the amplifier in the book here. And the book is also the manual for the 300, 400, 600, 250, 300, and 400 of the 4-channel and 2-channel amps. Then, of course, I've got the 1100 in the monoblock series, which is the 1100M. Then there's the 1600M and the 2000M. So that's an 1100, 1600, and 2000 watt monoblock amplifier. And this booklet and information is for both, or for all those amplifiers. So if you've got any of those amplifiers, you'll get a similar, your review will be similar to mine here, this amplifier here. This is the bottom of the series in the monoblock amplifiers. Let me get you a little bit better shot here, just a little bit, oops, wrong direction. There we go. Now the packaging in the big box was, as you saw it, there was some bubble packaging in the top, and then the 2 different things. That was Amazon's take on the whole situation. Of course, this is the factory packaging in here. There's a styrofoam piece on each side. This styrofoam piece contains nothing inside of it. It's empty. This one over here contains stuff. So we'll get into that in a second. Now, the first thing I want to do is take a look at the amp itself. And this angle is horrible. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Yeah, I think that works better. So I'll go ahead and unwrap this. And I haven't actually pulled this out of the plastic yet. I just checked to make sure that the contents of the box were as they should be, and they were. Now, first of all, first impressions, this is a beautiful finish on this amp. This is like a brushed aluminum on top, and it really is a brushed aluminum. It's not fake plasticky. This is solid aluminum. And then on the side here is your terminals for your different connections. Let me see. There we go. You've got your ground, your remote, and your battery positive cables. These are thick, heavy-duty screws. There's a caution label attached to it. Then you've got your single set of speaker outputs, your positive and your negative. And the fuse on this amplifier is a 30 amp fuse, which means this thing will produce around 300 watts maximum RMS. Usually you can pretty much gauge that off the fuse. Just add a 0 to whatever's there and you pretty much got your wattage. Now the amp claims to be 1100 watts. I have no delusions of this being 1100 watts. But I know that Boss makes good quality stuff. I actually have had several Boss amps in the past. So I don't have a problem with believing that it can make 300 watts RMS. On the back, you've got your high-level connectors. This is for if you don't have any RCAs and you want to hook up a stereo to this amplifier straight, you can run a left and right speaker wires to this, and I think the plug will probably be in that packaging. And this will enable you to hook up straight to it without the RCAs, which is good if you just want to keep your factory unit. Then you got your left and right RCA inputs. That's for most aftermarket stereos to run the cables from the back of the stereo to the amplifier. Then over here we have a sensitivity, and it is 2.8 volts to 100 millivolts, which would be one, depending on which the sensitivity is set. Not really sure about that. I'm thinking this has to do with the sensitivity of, depending on which of these two inputs you're using. Then you got your level control, which is your gain. Everybody, every amp has this. Mine is currently set at minimum, so from the box. Then you got full range and low pass sensitivity, and of course it's set on full range. You'll be switching it to low pass for subwoofer applications. I'm not sure why they would have it on full range, but who knows what people will use this for. So then you got your low pass frequency. This is to set your frequency cutoff points. It's what frequency of bass your amp will produce. If you don't want it to produce the higher frequencies of bass, if your stereo has a good source of higher frequencies, then you would set this at a lower frequency. Right now it is actually set at the lowest frequency. But if your stereo doesn't have good mid bass, your current speaker system, then you might want to set it at the higher frequency range so that the amplifier will produce send those higher bass frequencies to your sub. So that enables you to be flexible with the rest of your stereo. And then here is the bass boost. You have the zero boost, which is really normally where it needs to be, unless you're really a bass head and you just want to get every little thing you can out of it. Then it can actually give you a 18 decibel boost. So messing with this is just going to be tuning specifically to your current setup. Then over here at the very end, you've got your sub-level remote controller. That's going to give you the ability to control your sub's bass output from your dash. So this is pretty cool. And then down here on the end, of course, we have the power and protect lights. If the power light is on, that means you did it right and everything's working properly. If this red light comes on, that means something is not right. And it's usually a ground or the amp has gone into protect mode because it's overheated. The bottom comes with a very basic schematic on how to hook everything up to the amplifier. It's actually pretty inclusive. And remote turn, all that stuff is down there, and it explains exactly how to wire it up, basic wiring, which is nice. The feet down here, these feet are plastic. They seem to be getting sturdy, and they're screwed on to the chassis. Then there's this cool space right here on the very end. Let me see if I can get that better. This actually goes all the way through to the front of the amplifier on both sides. This cover is not removable. There's no caps to put on the end to cover your wiring, so you have to make sure you account for that. But there is the Boss, probably upside down. No, that was probably right side up. Anyway, it's the Boss Riot R1600M MOSFET monoblock power amplifier. Looks like a pretty solid unit. It's got some nice weight to it. I have a feeling it's going to do a really good job with my car system that I'm installing. The next piece we're going to look at is these wires that come in the amplifier, with the amplifier. And they're packed in this end cap here, this end styrofoam piece. Now this would be the output wire, or the input wires for the system. If you're going to use the speaker level inputs off your stereo, like if you have a factory stereo, you'd plug this into your amplifier, and this will enable you to hook your speaker wires up to it and not have to use RCA cables. Then you've got your mounting screws to mount your amp down on some sort of flat surface. You've got an extra 30 amp fuse in here in case you blow one. This will be your bass knob. This is what's going to be mounted under your dash. It's got actually, there's enough screws in here to do both. Then the screws holes are recessed, so you just screw through there into something under your dash, and you can mount this knob. You can also probably stick it between your seats or whatever if you want. And this cable right here is the wire for the bass knob. So when you want to crank your bass up, you can crank it up with no problem. You can turn it back down, no problem. And it feels like a good premium quality cable. I like the feel of this knob. This plastic is hard. The knob feels smooth. It doesn't feel ganky. I'm impressed. Of course, like I said, I've had good luck with both Boss products in the past. I keep wanting to call it Bose. I've had a couple of used ones that turned out really well. So let's go ahead and check out this wiring kit. we'll set that back in there because that's going to be getting installed in the next video. Now for the wiring kit.
I bought both of these amps at the same time. One of the boxes had the hardware in it, including the attenuation switch, and the other one didn't. And I started looking closer, and there were other differences, like the labeling on the back. One had it, this one doesn't. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see it better. Yeah, this one has the labeling. And then you look at this one, you see it's halfway down the connectors. It's cheaply made, but it does work. Works good though. Beats pretty hard, both of them. But they were missing hardware in one box, and like I said, there's subtle differences in the labeling on each.
We will be doing it from dawn to dusk. The couple on the screen. Suspended in time, erotic movements cause I